Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parent Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today, Karen Needs This House. After that, am I the jerk for making my wife look bad after she had a girls' night? And after that, fairly aggressive girlfriend stole from my bank account, so I sent her academic career into a nosedive. Now for every thumbs up this video gets, one Karen gets kicked out of college. Your mom goes to college? So please smash that like button, and if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. Karen needs this house. Over the past couple of months, I've been looking at rental properties in anticipation of moving. I have to be out of my current house by October due to the landlord wanting to demolish my current rental house to build apartments on the land. Yesterday, I went to an open house to view a rental property. I discussed it with my partner. We both agreed we loved the house and wanted to fill in an application for the property. We've got the real estate agent, we've got the Karen, and we've got me. I head up to the agent and ask her how we should go about applying for the property and ask a few general questions about the property. This is what happened. Me: so, how do I apply for the property? Agent: well, you can grab one of these forms or apply online. How many people over 18 will be living in the house? Me: just two, my partner and myself. The agent gets her clipboard and takes two forms off of it and hands them to me. Agent: so just fill out the forms and bring them back into the office with your ID and payslips. At this point, Karen storms up to us and snatches the forms out of my hand. Karen: I need these. I am going to apply for this house. Agent: okay, well, I do have more forms available. She gets another two and goes to hand them to me. Karen snatches them out of her hand. No, she isn't applying for this house. I am applying for this house. The agent looks confused. Agent: ma'am, more than one person can apply, and then we send the forms to the owner, and they can pick who they want to rent the house to. Karen shrieks: no one can apply for this house other than me. I need this house. I need it. No one else can apply for it. Agent: ma'am, I'm fairly certain anyone looking at this house probably needs it too. If you fill out an application, I'll send it on to the owner with the rest. Karen, still yelling: I've already applied for 6 houses, and no one will rent to me because someone wrote on my rental ledger that I damaged their house. I need this house more than anyone else here. No one else can apply, so the owner will have to rent to me. Agent: okay, ma'am, fill out the application and I'll send it to the owner. Karen smugly says okay, clearly thinking she has won, and takes her forms. Karen: you can finish the open house if you want, but make it clear this house has already been leased, and don't hand out any application forms for my house. She leaves. The real estate agent and I exchange a look and start laughing. Agent: here are 2 more application forms. I've heard about this lady. She has applied through our agency a couple of times. Apparently, she did over $2,000 worth of damage to the last 2 properties she rented, and our agency doesn't even send her application on to the owner because she's so difficult to deal with. She will be lucky to find anyone willing to rent her a house. Anyway, send your application form through when it's completed, and we will forward it to the owner. Me: thank you. I hope you don't have to deal with any more crazy people. The agent laughs, and I leave with my application forms. As I'm going back to my car, I see Karen walking towards me, screaming that I need to give her the application forms in my hand. I jump in my car, lock the doors, and drive off. It was a crazy experience. Would you rent a house to someone if you knew they were a Karen or not? Please let us know. You don't deserve to rent your house to me. Am I the jerk for making my wife look bad after she had a girls' night? My wife and I had our daughter 6 months ago, and yesterday night was going to be our first night to ourselves since her mom offered to babysit at their house. We're both new parents. Things have been chaotic. Our little angel is teething, and we haven't known a good night's sleep in months. We haven't had much time for ourselves as a couple, so having one whole evening of baby care off our hands felt like a blessing. We were both excited for Thursday when it came around. Close to 3 p.m., my wife asked me if it's all right if she goes to her friend's house for a girls' night instead. By now, her parents have already stopped by and taken our daughter back to their place. The fact that she brought this up last minute bothered me. I said this was supposed to be for us, and I've been looking forward to it all week. She looked sympathetic and said she understands, but it's been months since she spent any time with her best friend and really needs this me time. And okay, I get it. She deserved a break, but I feel like I had a right to be at least a little disappointed. My wife said I should go to my brother's and do our own thing, but I didn't. After she left, I decided to drive to her parents' house to pick up my daughter. I wasn't in the mood to do anything and wanted to be home, so there was no point in them babysitting. If I wasn't going to spend the night with my wife, I'd rather be with my daughter then. My father-in-law was confused I was there so early to pick her up when we agreed we'd come get her at 11 p.m. I explained my wife's change of plans and figured I might as well take my daughter home. My wife got back around 10 and she confronted me because I guess her mom sent her a text message. Nothing offensive, just that she didn't think it was fair she changed the plans her and I agreed on when they offered to babysit so we can spend time together. Her mom did say it's perfectly reasonable to want to be away from the family and go hang out with friends, but not when it was supposed to be our time. She said I purposely made her look bad and I made myself out to be the victim by picking our daughter up early and not having my own fun when I could have just as easily had a guy's night too. Then I made myself seem like the poor husband stuck at home with the baby while wife has fun. I tried to back myself up, but clearly our conversation went nowhere. We haven't talked since last night, and I'm still wondering if I did something wrong. Should I have not said anything to my in-laws? Or did what she said and went out? I mean, I was disappointed she chose our first night off to go be with her friends, and my mood was ruined, but I didn't do all this to make her look bad. Am I the jerk? Well, who do you think is right? OP or his wife? Please let us know. She had a girls' night and didn't invite me? Fairly aggressive girlfriend stole from my bank account, so I sent her academic career into a nosedive. I'm a senior at a large state university. This happened in the first semester of my freshman year. I was selected for an honors-type program that placed me in a co-ed dorm building with every other student in the program. As a dumb freshman, I rushed into a relationship with a freshman girl who lived right above me. We'll call her Megan. It was convenient for me to date someone who lived so close, but everyone else in our building hated Megan because she talked a lot and almost exclusively about herself. She bragged often about being a fairly aggressive person, but somehow I overlooked that mile-wide red flag. Right after Thanksgiving break, at the end of an evening class, I got a call from my mom, who noticed some unusual activity on my checking account. Back then, I had no credit card, so this account/debit card was my only access to my savings while I lived on campus. I rarely needed to buy anything during the semester, so I was puzzled to find that $104.29 had left my bank account over 2 weeks in the form of 6 Grubhub food orders. At this point, I trusted Megan, but I decided to ask her about the money right away. She denied any involvement and suggested that I cancel my debit card. After a really long phone call to the bank, I did just that. Next, I reached out to Grubhub customer service on Twitter. Hey, my card was stolen and used for food orders on these dates. Can I have the receipts? They sent me the first and last receipts, but they had to redact the personal info on the account holder. I say redact in quotes because they just used the Snapchat draw tool and Megan's name was still clearly visible on both receipts. What's more, the most recent receipt was only 2 hours old. She was probably still eating when I chopped up my debit card. It's worth noting that she and I both had unlimited dining plans, paid for by our respective parents, and we lived 500 feet from the nearest dining hall. She didn't need to order food, and she definitely didn't need my money to do it. So I texted her again. I have the receipts from Grubhub. Are you sure you didn't make those orders? Her reply, forget you for suspecting me. Fairly aggressive, wouldn't you say? I hatched a plan to collect security camera footage of her picking up the order from that evening. However, by midnight, Megan arrived at my door in tears and confessed to everything. Plus, she admitted to being a serial shoplifter. Exhausted, I sent her away and decided to deal with everything in the morning. By the next day, everyone in our building seemed to know what was going down, probably because Megan had already begun broadcasting her version of the story. I sent Megan a breakup text and decided that $104.29 was a loss. At least I escaped unscathed, right? Well, less than 2 days later, she entered my room when I wasn't looking. I was sitting at my desk when I noticed her standing silently behind me. Megan, give me my stuff. Where's my stuff? Me, what stuff? You know. I did not know. She tore through the room looking for something that she refused to identify. Just as quick as she came, she was gone, and I locked the door because obviously this wasn't over yet. Within a minute, she was back. She stood outside my door, knocking and demanding I let her back inside. The knocking quickly got more violent. She started shouting, "I know you're in there! Open the door!" Mind that we lived in this building with students in our program who all know each other, and all of them could hear her. Pretty quickly, Megan was rattling the handle of my door. Next, she began throwing herself at it, shoulder first, trying to break it down. I lived next door to my RA, but judging by the lack of any intervention, he was elsewhere. So I whipped out my phone and texted him to send backup. Meanwhile, I saw my heavy wooden door bending and buckling. I even heard it crack a bit. My RA was on duty in another building, so he sent 3 of his colleagues to de-escalate the situation. They brought Megan downstairs where she revealed that the stuff she wanted was just the t-shirt and keychain that she gave me for my birthday. Whatever, I let her have those. I still just wanted this to be over. However, once I shared my story with the resident life staff, they filed university paperwork to place a no contact order between me and Megan. They also recommended I contact the campus police, who then told me I should get my stolen money back in small claims court. I couldn't even get there without a car or money to pay for an Uber. Sorry, Judge Judy. At the request of the campus police, I also contacted the Title IX office at my school, sending them the story of everything you've read so far. They were interested, to say the least, although I didn't want any trouble. I just wanted a clean breakup and a fresh start. But a Title IX representative informed me that they were bringing 3 misconduct charges against Megan: theft, threatening/violent behavior, and inciting an intervention by university staff. The representative asked me to serve as a witness in Megan's disciplinary hearing the next semester. I tentatively agreed right before the representative set the hearing date for February 14th, Valentine's Day. I thought it was a joke, but they really did that. When the day of the hearing finally arrived, the no-contact order was still in effect, but a few of my friends had kept tabs on Megan. For starters, she failed all of her classes in the fall. Someone in my math course confessed that Megan had tried to hook up with him while she was dating me, and he had to repeatedly tell her no. Even worse, Megan kept telling a twisted version of the whole story to try and turn my friends against me. So when I found out that she had found a new boyfriend, it felt good to know that the Valentine's Day disciplinary hearing ruined whatever evening plans they might have made. I arrived alone at the disciplinary board office, unsure what to expect. The board consisted of grad students, and the hearing was expected to run into the night. Unlike me, Megan did not come alone. She brought both of her parents as character witnesses. That wasn't even a thing here. This wasn't a real courtroom, as you'll see soon. And that's not all. Megan's parents also paid a lawyer to defend her against the charges. The board knew that was unnecessary, but Megan's parents believed so strongly in their daughter's innocence that they had already paid this 3-piece suit make her case. In the name of fairness, the board members offered me pro bono legal representation, a junior economics major, who we'll call Jimmy. Jimmy had already read my account of the events from the fall, and thanks to my screenshots of Grubhub receipts, he said there was an okay shot of the charges sticking. Then I told him something I'd kept secret for months. When Megan tried to break down my door and I whipped out my phone to text my RA, I also filmed the whole thing. Jimmy couldn't get enough of the video. There was Megan kicking and screaming and clearly trying to break into my dorm room. It was all the evidence I needed, and no one saw it coming. In the hearing, when the time came for me to make the case against Megan, Jimmy played the video on a big screen in front of everyone. The room went insane. In that instant, I realized that Megan really had convinced everyone I was the liar. In her version of the story, I gave her permission to buy food using my account. She told her parents that she had asked me politely for her belongings, which I had rudely hidden from her in my dorm room. In Megan's story, I was the sociopath trying to ruin her reputation. Before I unveiled the video, it was her word against mine. I still didn't want revenge, even after finding out that Megan tried to cheat on me. But when I saw her parents flipping out at the video, "Why didn't you tell us you did this?" and her lawyer raising heck, "This evidence was not provided in pretrial disclosure," and a board member standing over him, "Sir, this is not a court of law. Please return to your seat," and him shouting, "Objection!" and her replying, "We don't have objections. This isn't a court of law." And Jimmy, my new best friend, just trying not to laugh out loud. That's when I realized how good revenge can feel when it's fair and deserved. The board found Megan responsible on all 3 charges. My side of the bench recommended the university terminate her housing contract and force her to pay restitution. Her side recommended only restitution and a reprimand. The board compromised. Her family paid back most of the money she stole. Most because 2 of the 6 orders had the same price, and the lawyer convinced the board I had duplicated an order, and Megan was forced to move into a different dorm building. This probably would have helped her anyway, because every student in our program's building knew everything she had done and lied about. They wouldn't speak to her, and no one wanted to be her roommate. By the time she had to move buildings, she had already failed all of her courses again. Having paid for her tuition, her unused dining plan, her lawyer, and her restitution, Megan's parents finally pulled her out of school. Where are they now? Last I heard, Megan returned as a part-time student, but I never saw her again because the no contact order still stands. I'm now Facebook friends with the guy Megan tried to hook up with. Oh, and Jimmy and I connected on LinkedIn. As for me, well, I no longer date fairly aggressive people. Has anyone ever stolen anything from you? If so, what did you do about it? Please let us know. I love stealing things from people. Am I the jerk for walking out of a job interview? I, 26 male, got offered an interview for a job I've had my eye on for quite some time. I was scheduled to meet with 3 people within the actual office itself, and considering this was a job that could be done remotely, that raised my suspicion, but I still decided to learn more about the position. When I got there, the first interviewer, who was with HR, took almost 20 minutes to call me in. The receptionist was nice and all, and kept trying to reach out to them to see what was taking so long. But nonetheless, that irked me the wrong way. My interviewer eventually walked into the lobby and told me to follow him. No apology for the long wait. To describe him, he was a tiny guy, about 5'6", and spoke in that weird Valley Girl accent. Important later. The actual interview went off the rails really quick. My interviewer was rude to me and cut me off a lot. For background, I live with my parents because they have health issues and I help take care of them, so moving out isn't an easy option for me or them. When the interviewer asked where I lived, I told him I lived with my parents in this town. He laughed and asked if I was too scared to move out. I was still trying to be professional, but he kept making snide remarks about some of my experience, the state school I went to, etc. I eventually got fed up and felt like I wasn't going to get the job anyways, so I decided to tell him, "You're being really unprofessional, so we're done here." He got mad and said, "So, you don't want to meet the team you're interviewing with?" I told him, "No, if HR is this unprofessional, then I can't imagine what everyone else here is like." As I was leaving through the lobby, the HR guy followed me and tried to embarrass me by saying out loud to the receptionist, "He is no longer welcome here. If he tries to come back in, call the police." I told him to shove it and go make out with his boyfriend, so that way no one has to hear his voice. Then I left. I had never walked out of an interview in my life, no matter how well or bad they went. I did kind of feel bad for skipping on the other 2 interviews, which would have been with some of the managers on the team I would be working with. But I absolutely hate most HR departments as it is, since they produce some of the most toxic people, and if this HR guy was really unprofessional, I question the company as a whole. Well, what do you think? Was OP out of line in how he handled this situation or not? Please let us know. Everyone sucks here, bruh. Except for the receptionist, she seemed sweet. Entitled parent tried to steal my plane seat because she needs it. This story happened a few years ago when I was about 13. So a bit of background. My relatives live in a city that's about an hour and 20-minute flight from where I live. My parents and I used to go there every 3 months or so. However, sometimes my parents had to work and I had to fly alone. On the airline we took, if you flew alone and were under the age of 14, you had to be a UM, unaccompanied minor, which would mean a flight attendant would help you to get to your gate and you would board first. But the best part of being a UM is how you would usually get upgraded to first class, if it's available, so you can be close to the flight attendant. It's important to know that on flights that are shorter than 3 hours, the seats are in 2x2 formation. So I get the seat my parents paid for in economy, a window seat. Next to me was the entitled mom with a toddler in her lap, and on the other aisle seat in our row sat her husband with another kid. After everyone boarded the plane, the flight attendant comes up to me and says, "You're the UM, right?" Me, "Yeah." "You've been upgraded to first class." Me, "Cool." The flight attendant didn't see entitled mom's husband and thought she was a single mother. "Ma'am, there are 2 seats available. Would you like the other one?" It was common for flight attendants to ask the people next to someone with a priority if they wanted to get a first class seat too, if one was available. Entitled mom, "Sure. Can my husband come too?" Flight attendant turns around and sees husband. "Oh, sorry ma'am, there's not enough room for the both of you." "But why? You said there were 2 seats available." Flight attendant, "Yes, but one of them has to be taken by the UM." Entitled Mom turns around and looks at me. He's big enough. He doesn't need those seats. And you need them? Yes, I do. Do you not know how hard it is to raise not one, but two kids? Flight attendant. Ma'am, I do know how hard it is. I have kids of my own. So then you'll know why I need those seats more than him. Ma'am, we will be departing very soon, and I need to bring this boy to the front of the plane. Now I need you to cooperate and let me bring him to his seat. Listen here, you jerk. My life is hard enough as it is now, and I don't need your insult on top of that. We deserve those seats. Give them to us now. Flight attendant. All right, look, kid, just come with me and we'll deal with her later. As I'm getting up, the entitled mom pushes me back down in my seat. Forget you. You do not just ignore me like that. You are going to give me those seats right now, you little jerk. At this point, everyone on the plane is looking at her. Even though I wasn't saying anything, I was kind of scared. My mind was set on being anywhere but in a seat next to this woman, so that's when I practically jumped out of my seat to the flight attendant. As I got in the aisle, the entitled mom starts pulling on my shirt to bring me back. That's when I grabbed her and threw her off of me. How dare you touch me, you little jerk! Now you have to give me your seats. Instead of listening to her, I just went up to my seat in first class. I could still hear her screaming. Eventually, they deplaned her and her husband, which delayed the flight by 10 minutes. On the way out, the entitled mom gave me the stink eye and said, "You're so selfish." I just grinned at her. After I told the story to my family, we laughed a lot about it. I don't want my laptop back. I want that one. Happened a few years ago. I own a small IT company. We specialize in other company support, but we do hardware and software servicing for home users. We are a very small company, so we all do most of the work required. Every time the home user brings a PC or a laptop to fix it, we add it to the system and issue a case number. Every piece of equipment has a small sticker on it with the case number. Every part taken off the PC or laptop has one too, to avoid confusion or parts mix-up. About a week ago came a lady. She brought a laptop to be cleaned, so it was added to the system and a case number was issued. We gave her a credit card-sized card with case number and our contact phone number to check the status if she needs it. After about 2 days, I called her. It's ready to pick up and she can come. We've got me, we've got Karen. Karen. Hi, I came to pick up my laptop. Me. Okay, what is the case number? I don't know. I lost my card with the number. Me. Okay, what is your name? I can look it up in the system. No need. I can see my laptop on the desk over there. She pointed to some gaming laptop on the service desk where we store hardware that needs to be fixed. Me. I'm sorry, but that laptop is not ready yet. You called me to pick it up, so I came. Me. It must be some mistake. Can you tell me your last name, please? Okay, my name is Karen. I looked into the system and I saw her laptop was ready to pick up. I checked the number and her laptop was on ready to pick up desk, so I brought it back to her. This is not my laptop. It is that one. No, madam. It definitely is this one. But I don't want this one. I want that one. If you're not going to do your job, just call me your manager. I'm gonna get you fired. Me. I'm sorry, but that's not possible as I don't have any manager or the boss. I'm the owner of this small IT company. I can give you only your laptop or I can call cops for trying to steal someone else's laptop. Her jaw dropped. 5 seconds I stare, grabbed her laptop, and she disappeared. Another beautiful day at work. Did she really think we're so dumb we would let her steal someone else's laptop? Nice try, Karen. I should fire myself. Thank you for reading. Am I the jerk for golfing and leaving my wife at home with our son? My wife and I have a 10-month-old son, our first kid. We also both work full-time, so our kid is in daycare during the week. My job is Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. My wife's job requires her to sometimes work later in the evening or on weekends, depending on what kind of project they're doing. If she has to work weekends, she usually takes a day off during the week to compensate for working a Saturday or Sunday. If she takes a day off during the week, she usually uses that time to catch up on stuff around the house, like cleaning or laundry. But sometimes she will use that day to spend time with friends or family and go do something fun because places aren't as busy during the week. She also sometimes takes our son out of daycare on those days so they can go to places like the zoo or aquarium when it's less crowded. So if she has to work on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm at home with the kid and don't have the same opportunity to get out and see friends. It's also more difficult to bring our son places on weekends by myself because there are a lot more people around and due to what's going on. This past weekend, I had a tea time scheduled with a few friends for Saturday morning. But Thursday night, my wife tells me she has to work Saturday, so I can't go golfing. I tell her that's fine, and that I will tell the guys I have to reschedule for the following weekend. She then tells me that she's taking Friday off because she works Saturday, and that she and her mom and her aunt are going to some art festival that's in town. Again, fine with me. She said she'd be home before I get home from work, and I do the drop-off and pick up from daycare anyway, so it doesn't change my schedule at all. After my wife gets home from work on Saturday evening, I tell her that I would like to go golfing early Sunday morning since I missed out with my friends. She gets a little upset and tells me that she's exhausted from work and was really hoping to relax on Sunday and recharge a bit, and that she can't do that while watching our son by herself. I told her that I just watched our son all day by myself, and I'm tired too. It's part of being a new parent. She also had a free day on Friday, and because she worked Saturday, Sunday is my only free day of the week. I told her that I need a break just like she does, and that I don't have the luxury of taking days off in the middle of the week to go to art festivals. She didn't speak to me the rest of the night, but the next morning I was up at 6 a.m. getting ready to go golf, and she was mad. She thought that we had an understanding that I wouldn't go because she told me not to. I told her I would be back around noon, and I'll call on my way home to see if I should bring home something for lunch. When I got home, she handed me our son, grabbed her lunch, and went to our room to rest for the next few hours. When I went to talk with her, she called me a jerk for leaving her when she asked me to stay home. Edit. Since some people seem to be jumping to the conclusion that my wife is a toxic and emotionally manipulative monster, I need to clarify something. My wife and I actually just talked over lunch. I reminded her about my tea time tomorrow, and she said that she remembered and that she hopes I have fun. She apologized for how she reacted last weekend and that she was tired and exhausted from work that day and let that anger get the best of her. She had worked 10 hours outside in 90-degree heat that Saturday and was fully drained, so the idea of chasing a 10-month-old around by herself while already exhausted sounded daunting. Neither one of us did a good job of communicating clearly in the moment. She said she knows I need and deserve breaks just like she does. My wife does not treat me like a jerk on a regular basis. Our relationship and communication is really quite healthy considering everything we have going on right now. But like every other relationship, we are not perfect and have moments where that communication breaks down. Nice lady asks for help buying a computer, and we get free CDs and job offers. This is going back to the late 90s when Circuit City was still big. My friend and I were somewhere near the end of high school and were there to look for a couple of CDs. A bit about us and what we were like back then. Nerds. I was a wannabe computer nerd with literary pretensions and my first goatee. My hair was blonde and my beard was orange, naturally. I was probably wearing flip-flops, khaki cargo shorts, and a Far Side or Umbro shirt. My friend, he was on a whole different level. He was over 6 feet tall and skinny. He always wore khaki slacks or jeans. We're in Arizona in the summer. A polo shirt with an undershirt and Birkenstocks with socks. He had grown his hair long, and about half a year earlier he had a perm to try out an afro. He hadn't cut his hair since. He was and is a computer nerd who really knew his stuff. He looked like he worked at a store like Circuit City. We had his mom's mid-80s Suburban. So anyway, we found our music, Third Eye Blind's first album for me, and headed over to the computer area to dream. He was building a gaming computer at the time and wanted to show me the video cards he wanted and was explaining the pros and cons of a couple different types. An older lady, probably in her 50s, approaches us and asks him for help when he's done helping me. I say I'm just here for music and looking at computer stuff for fun, and my friend says he can try to help her. To be fair, I'm pretty sure he dressed the way he did because he liked this kind of thing. She wants a computer for email because all of her friends have email and she feels left out. The selection is overwhelming and she doesn't know where to start. We head over and quickly start narrowing down the selection for her. My friend is way overthinking it, and I convince him she needs bare bones capability for basic internet, email, and probably some basic word processing. We get a computer with built-in modem and monitor picked out along with a mouse and a keyboard, and make sure she knows how to use them to click on files, that kind of thing. Then my friend explains how to get internet to the computer, and I write down notes for her so she can remember later. We even offer a few suggestions on what email to get and show her how AOL instant messaging and chat rooms work if she wants to really impress her friends. The whole process took quite a while, but we didn't have anything to do and would have been bored otherwise, so it was something to do. We help her get everything together, check out, and help her get in the car. Then we head back in to get our music, pay, and figure out what to do. We're heading to the checkout when we see the lady coming with the store manager. She's going on about how helpful we were and praising my friend for being such a great employee. The manager and my friend are both trying to explain that he doesn't work there. Finally, she realizes we're just two random guys and starts apologizing, and now we're embarrassed and insisting we were happy to help. She insists on buying our music for us. After we get checked out and say goodbye to her, the manager pulls us aside and offers us both jobs. We both say we'll think about it, and my friend later decides to work there. He gets a couple of other friends hired there. We were moving, so it wasn't a good time for me, but I thought it was pretty cool still. I know this isn't the usual format. No one was irate for this sub, but thought I'd share anyway. Hope you enjoyed. Come watch this video next. You will love it. And huge shout out to our newest official channel members, David and Helene. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Join as a channel member today and we'll give you a special shout out on our next video. And to have us make any kind of video you'd like us to, come visit us on Fiverr. Link pinned in the comments below.